I'm just a 46-year-old kid working an adult job, so I can afford to buy back my childhood memories. Yeah, and they'd just be a whole lot more expensive these days. It's Saturday. I'm Akorn. Welcome back to Gen X and Millennial Memes, because the 80s was clearly the last good decade. Real quickly, I wanted to give you guys an update about the channel, as well as going over the great feedback that I got on last week's goodbye video. But it was gonna make this video way too long. So what I'm gonna do is have a separate video on Monday with a full update about everything on the channel and a new addition that's coming in the next week or so. But for now, let's get into today's show, starting with this week's pop quiz. Found out yesterday that Super Mario Bros. 2 was not intended to be a Super Mario game. Even as a kid, I knew something was off. Never gonna doubt my instincts again. And the pop quiz question is, what was Super Mario Bros. 2 originally called? If you think you know, drop it in the comments below, and stay tuned because we'll have the answer later on in the show. Chuck Norris once told a woman to calm down, and she did. That might be one of the best ones yet. Morning, y'all. Doing okay? Can I get you anything? Coffee? Meds? Straitjacket? Yeah, I do think that some people need that. Maybe all of the above. The oldest computer was owned by Adam and Eve. It was an Apple with very limited memory, just 1 byte and everything crashed. I've recently took up a new hobby. I've started going to IKEA stores and leaving notes like this. The toilet in this display room is 100% functional. Go ahead and try it out to see if it's the right one for you. Worst part is, there's some people, they wouldn't need a sign. How it feels taking your late grandfather's hunting rifle on a successful trip. 7-year-old kids today. iPhones, iPads, AirPods. Me when I was 7. Yeah, when you're stuck inside, didn't have anything else to do, you found some way to entertain yourself. Man opens barn on newly acquired property and finds hundreds of dollars worth of mint condition sheets of plywood. Actually, that's not plywood, that's OSB. Still expensive though. My wife bought something on Facebook Marketplace, but she's afraid it could be a setup. So she sends me to pick it up from a guy whose wife sent him because she's afraid it could be a setup. How many of you guys have had to do this? For your convenience, management can print an extra receipt for whatever price you told your spouse this cost. And if you look in the background, this is a vintage video game store. Heck of a day. I had to put down 3 bottles just to unwind. And half of a brownie too, it looks like. Today, I heard a girl ask her dad why people say, hang up the phone. I'd never thought about it that way, but I can understand why that they would ask that. Product reliability. This 80-year-old solar clothes dryer still works. Yeah, but you're never gonna hear a feminist or environmental activist demanding that they should be using clotheslines to dry their clothes with. Whenever my son wants to play Battleship, I sit up like this because I don't want him to win or have any fun. That's just kind of mean, I'll be honest. Never, under any circumstances, take a sleeping pill and a laxative on the same night. Well, I'm not sure why this made it in here, but sounds like good advice. What's love got to do with it? Absolutely nothing. Now, where are my treats? Back several weeks ago, there was someone that made a comment about these on one of the videos, but I don't know which one. so I'm sorry that I forgot who you are, but these here are called road torches, or smudge pots. I know them as a smudge pot, where they used them to keep fruit trees and things from getting frostbit when you have some really late frost in the spring. Kind of like this year. We're supposed to be 36 degrees here in a couple nights. But some of those might have been a bit different of a design, but I never actually saw them used on the roads. The lion ignores the sharp pain he gets in his chest a couple times a month. Yeah, it happens. You just hope that they don't get any worse than that. Son, Dad, there's a small get-together at school tomorrow. Father, small get-together? How small? Son, only me, you, and the principal. You people that get so easily offended never would have made it through a single episode of our comedy shows without having an aneurysm. Over 5,000 years of eating bread, and in less than 1 decade, everyone is allergic to gluten. Yeah, well, for one thing, like this next one here from Jen, this is closer at least to the things that we ate. You know, ingredients that you could actually read, versus the stuff on packages today where they just make up words or use some chemical scientific term so that we don't know what the heck it is. And another thing is, the GMO wheat today is far different than the heirloom wheat that we used to have. If you get this, you have gray hair. Yes, I do. I thought these had gone the way of the dinosaur. Nay, found this gem in the waiting room at my doctor's office. Free water. It's the only thing I've seen free in a medical facility in years. Oh, don't worry. You pay for it time and time and time again. People talk about Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay, but to me, this is the finest TV chef of all time. I absolutely agree. It's 1980. You're stuck home sick from school, and the Vicks Formula 44 starts kicking in. What'd you do? Drank the whole bottle? I'm old enough to remember washing dishes in the sink and hanging up laundry to dry. What are you talking about? I still do that. I don't have a dishwasher. I do have a dryer over my barn, but I hang a lot of my clothes out to dry on the clotheslines. You can't give away a used mattress, but somehow we'll pay $300 a night to sleep on one at a hotel. It's true in regards to, a hotel. I mean, it's literally not just a used mattress, but, However, I don't know where the heck you're staying, but I'm not paying $300 a night for a hotel. I don't go anywhere anyway, so. 1970s child warning ads were awesome. Remember, kids, electricity will kill you. Yeah, with a switchblade, apparently. Murder, She Wrote movie to come out in theaters in December 22nd of 2027 with Jamie Lee Curtis as Jessica Fletcher. Guys, I really, really hope that this isn't true. There is no way that she would ever catch any details, let alone solve anything, guys. Jamie Lee Curtis says nobody can tell which of her daughters is trans, and she wouldn't have it any other way. If you know who this is, you were probably a teenager in the 80s. 70s, 80s child. Yeah, before everything was digital, and we still had to do things manually and had the skills to do it. Something that the younger generations don't have, unfortunately. There's a whole generation that still misses Saturday mornings like this. Everybody says it, but nobody actually wants to see me later. Today's pop quiz question was, what was the original name of the game that we know of as Super Mario Bros. 2? And the answer is, Super Mario Bros. 2 was originally a 1987 Famicom disk system game in Japan called And no, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the Japanese there, guys. But translated, it is Dream Factory, Heart-Pounding Panic. And here's the thing, guys. That's not the end of the story. Here's the worst part. Nintendo rebranded it with Mario characters because the original Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2, now known as the Lost Levels, was considered too difficult for Western players. Guys, they had to dumb it down for us. Although we didn't have any problem playing the Lost Levels. When you need a fishing trip, but your budget is a little tight. Some potholes are big enough though. When the meat manager has an awesome sense of humor. Yeah, Duck Duck Goose. That is a pretty good one. The original Lunchable, 1989, the Chocolate Mint. There was also something else that they had besides the Chocolate Mint too, but I can't remember what. One of the greatest feelings a man can experience. My wife, with a master's in biology, just disagreed that penguins are birds. She then adamantly got out her phone, Googled something, then silently put her phone down and continued as if nothing happened. Want to end texting and driving? Bring these back. I don't know though. People these days have hard enough time just driving an automatic. They'd probably be more crashes if this was the standard today than there would be from just texting, because you know they'd be trying to do both. Boomers. Suffering builds character. Millennials. We need to fix everything. Gen Z. There's nothing left for us. Gen X. We need cocktails. The world you were born in no longer exists. Someone found this gem at their local thrift store. I'd have to make a glass of grape Kool-Aid just because I found that. Did you experience any of these? You got thrown off the wheel of death. You got fried by a slide at high noon. An uppercut from a 2x4. You ran behind Hannah High Swing. Plinkoed through this thing. And you could not skip 3. I'd say that most of us done all of these things. There's 2 types of people in this world. OMG, I need to fill up. I got this. Well, I'll be honest. I usually fill it back up at least before it hits a half a tank, unless I'm actually going on a trip. But even then, I'd probably only let it get down to about 3/4 because you never know if something happens. I now have to stretch and warm up before attempting to put my socks on. When the teacher says your project can be about whatever you want, how much sawdust can you put in a Rice Krispie treat before people notice? Man, he probably ended up becoming an executive at Kellogg's or General Mills. Sylvester Stallone shocks fans by stepping back into Rambo mode, teasing a powerful return with a brand new First Blood prequel. I have no idea if this is actually true, but since he's much older, how in the world can they do a prequel? They gonna use AI? Netflix raises prices again. Me dusting off the VCR like it's 1986. Yeah, I would. It'd be a lot better if I still had any VCRs or any videotapes either. Who remembers slush puppies? Yeah, I think that those were the best. I think they were a lot better than the ices that you see today. It's not stupid if it works. I actually saw someone jumpstart a car with a Milwaukee M18 tool battery. Growing up a baby boomer, mom's favorite sayings. What part of no don't you understand? I don't care who started it. Your face is gonna freeze like that. No one said life is fair. Go to your room. I don't know is not an answer. Wasn't just you boomers. We heard all that stuff too. There was a crossover with Bewitched. In the episode Samantha, the 6th episode of the 6th season, is there going to be another 6 in here? There was a guest appearance by Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York. The two showed up as animated versions of their characters Samantha and Darren Stevens from the hit television show Bewitched. It seems like that I vaguely remember this. 7-year-old me after getting a paper crown from Burger King. What do you mean 7 years old? I did that last month and got a Happy Meal with a toy. I'm 46. A preacher was completing a temperance sermon. With great expression, he said, "If I had all the beer in the world, I'd take it and throw it into the river." With even greater emphasis, he said, "And if I had all the wine in the world, I'd take it and throw it into the river." And then finally, he said, "And if I had all the whiskey in the world, I'd take it and throw it into the river." Then he sat down. The song leader then stood very cautiously and announced with a smile, "For our closing song, let us sing hymn number 365, Shall We Gather at the River." I just thought that one was funny, guys. I'd like to thank all of you for watching to the end of the show because it really helps to support the channel. And I thank all of those hitting at like, subscribe, and sharing the videos, ordering merch, and my YouTube channel members. I'll see all of you back here tomorrow on the latest episode of Laugh While the World Burns, which airs every Sunday. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this weekend. This is Akorn, over and out.